It's official. I have moved out of my little cabin and left Colorado. And I would be completely lying if I said that everything was smooth and easy, because it was super stressful. But thankfully I had some help from some great friends, so I got through it, and so did the puppy dogs. A human can accumulate a lot in 4.5 years. Getting rid of things felt really good, but the packing just felt never ending. And although I was in the middle of a move, life on the outside did not at all stop. And I had to deal with everyday challenges on top of everything that I was doing. The ticks are so bad right now that I brought in the crate. Moving boxes. My friend Tim is watching all my cactuses for me, and because I really love my pots, I decided to use these Amazon bubble wrap envelopes to try and insulate them. I'm hoping this summer the temperatures will not drop below freezing, but it is the Colorado Rockies, so you never know. And it was also really nice to have a reason to use those envelopes again, because I feel kind of guilty about them. I also left some plants behind. I'm leaving a bunch of plants for my landlord. But most of these plants I either grew from cuttings or I have cuttings of, so I'm not completely missing out on them, though it's still sad to leave them behind. I'm obsessed with my plants. And then the rest of the plants I safely packed away in a box to keep them away from the dogs in the car. And then 20 minutes into the drive, Maggie decided to jump in the box because the plant seemed really soft and cozy. And she smashed up my beautiful plants. Most of them survived, but this beautiful friend got kind of squashed. It's a good thing I'm obsessed with that little dog. My biggest packing day was full of lots of stress and tears. I just took a shower, which felt amazing. Today was my big moving day where I got all the big things out. I got a moving truck from my storage facility, and my friend Tim came over and helped me with all the big items, and I tried to stuff as much as I could in there. I mean, I could have put a lot more in there, but I just wasn't prepared. But we still got tons of stuff in the storage truck. But before that happened, as I was packing up, I don't know if I've ever told you that Maggie has epilepsy, and she had a seizure. And I've been trying to keep myself calm so this doesn't happen to her, because I know that my stress affects her, but you know, you can't really not stress out during a move. So she had a seizure and I was having a really hard time getting her out of it. And I was starting to freak out. Like when she's seizing, I usually try and calm myself as much as I can to calm her down, but I was getting really upset. I couldn't stop it. Had to take a break there. But as she was coming out of it, I thought she was done, and it was usually about the same time that it usually is. But then she started going back into it, and that's when I really started getting upset. But thankfully Tim came over, and she is obsessed with Tim, and she started barking and wagging her tail even though she was shaking, but that popped her out of it. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Little Maggie's been doing great ever since. I got through that day and then the next, and then on Sunday, my friend Katie flew out from Northern California to drive with me. She also helped me a lot with that last push of random things that needed to leave the house and the cleaning that needed to be done. I know, she's a really great friend. The drive was more than just a move. Katie and I hadn't seen each other for a really long time, so it was a nice opportunity for us to catch up. It was also really nice to have a friend to process through everything with. When I first found out that I needed to leave my little cabin, I just really didn't want to leave Colorado. Being a Colorado mountain woman had become part of my identity, and I was having a little bit of an identity crisis. And although I made peace with it, and I have pretty exciting plans for the future, it was still pretty sad to leave a place that I thought I was going to call home for the rest of my life. It was also really nice to have a friend along for the more stressful parts of the journey. At our lunch stop the first day, I found a really gross tick on Frida. And I've pulled a lot of ticks off of her over the years, but this one had gone unnoticed for a few days and the bite just looked really bad. Thankfully, I had tweezers and apple cider vinegar and Neosporin to take care of it. And even better yet, Katie's dad is a veterinarian, so we sent him a picture and he said to just keep taking care of it and watch it to make sure it doesn't get worse. It's looking really good. We also had this happen. The car battery just died. Thankfully, we got to Grease Monkey 25 minutes before closing and they're fixing it up for us. My car battery died in Grand Junction, 5:15 p.m. on a holiday. We thought there was absolutely no hope, but thankfully it all worked out. I had just gotten my snow tires changed out, had my oil changed, and had everything checked the week before, but the battery went unnoticed. Katie asked this nice-looking elderly man next to us if he would jumpstart our car, and he said, "I don't know, let me ask my wife." And the wife looks directly at Katie and says, "No." And I was standing there in front of my car, hood up, jumper cables out, like ready to go. So there was really no excuse. Thankfully though, there were some much nicer people at the gas station. And these two really sweet guys who were leaving drove up and asked if we needed some help. Not to mention the auto shop that I had called offered to drive out and jumpstart the car if we couldn't find somebody to jump us. Once all of the drama of the battery was over, we drove on.
Welcome to Utah.
We stayed the night in Richfield, Utah, which is a pretty good halfway point. It's where I always stop when I drive out to California. Then we left relatively early in the morning because we had to get Katie to Orange County and to the airport on time so she can get back to her family.
There, Maggot.
It got really hot in the middle of the desert and we stopped in Vegas for a quick lunch.
Hey, me. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, pretties.
And then when we hit traffic in the Inland Empire, we knew we had officially made it. Both of us were absolutely blown away by the crazy drivers, but the truth is, we used to be crazy drivers too when we lived there. We got back in time to have a quick dinner at my parents' house, and then I dropped Katie off at the airport. I stayed the night in Orange County and then woke up early in the morning to leave for the local mountains where my parents have a cabin. My parents' house is on the market right now and they had a bunch of people coming over the next day, so the dogs and I had to quickly clear out. We had to do a little bit of backtracking, but it wasn't too bad. And when I stopped for breakfast, I even saw a boulder sign. Yay, Colorado! Once we got high enough up, the rest of the drive up to the mountains was beautiful. The hillsides were green and in bloom, and there were big buzzing beetles just happily going through the flowers. I'm super grateful to have this amazing place to stay for the month. I'm gonna be staying somewhere else in July, but I will tell you about that when the time comes. For now, you'll get to experience a little California mountain flavor, probably combined with some Orange County beach visits. It's gonna be a wild summer.
Hey Frida, is that your mommy's pillow?
Maggie is loving the deck. I still have a bunch of footage from my last 3 weeks in Colorado that I need to get through. I wanted to get this video out first because it just felt like this nice little way to close out my trip, but I'll be putting out some more Colorado videos in the next few weeks. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.